everyone and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Kaylee and I'm a beauty and fashion photographer based near Sydney, Australia, but I'm also a content creator and I started this channel a few years ago to talk about all things business, social media, freelancing and content creation. So I will be doing a little bit of a tour for you today and taking you through some of the things that I have in my office. I'll be doing a very basic rundown of my workspace. I won't be going into my YouTube setup too much because I actually have another video that's upcoming that will explain how I film my YouTube videos, what kind of equipment I use and so on. But I'll go through a little bit of my organization, the little tiny bit of organization I have in this room. For those of you who have seen my videos before, you'll know that I'm an INFP. If you have done the Myers-Briggs personality test, you'll know that INFPs are not always very good with organization, and if they are, they have to work really hard at it. And I am one of those people that needs to work hard at organization, unfortunately. So I have some methods that kind of work for me, but overall, I try and keep this room pretty clean because I think it does actually drive me nuts when I walk into this room and there's just stuff everywhere. And it does tend to happen really quickly because when you're filming, you're editing, you're doing photo shoots, you know, I've done product photography in this room before, things can just get out of hand. So it is good to have kind of organizational practices, I guess, and just kind of a place for everything. But without further rambling, I'm gonna get straight into this video now and show you a tour of my home office. Okay, so now you finally have a wide view of my office. It's actually so weird to see this on camera like this, and it must be for you too because you'll probably only ever see this tiny little part of my desk here. This is basically my work setup at the moment. I'll move out of the way so you can see it. But yeah, I just try and keep things really simple. I usually actually have my camera just in the corner there. It'll be on my tripod and it will pretty much stay like that all week. I don't tend to move my camera off my tripod unless I specifically need to go shooting and actually do other things. But I like to keep that in the same spot because like I've spoken about on my channel before, I find it's a really good thing to do if you are looking to make a lot of content each week, especially for YouTube. It's good to have things in the same place and you don't have to move them around a lot. But I will be going into that a little bit more in depth in my filming setup that I'll be posting very soon. So as you can see, I've got a really long desk and I purposely did this because I really liked how longer desks looked. I mean, I did a whole Pinterest mood board for my desk and how I was going to set it up, but it's funny, this room is still not finished. Even though we moved in here like 3.5 years ago now, this is definitely not finished. So there's still a lot that I want to do. There's more shelving I have to put up. There's more attachments that I actually have to get for my desk. So yeah, there's definitely always things that I need to be doing in this room, but unfortunately I tend to always leave it till last because I think it's just my working room and oh my gosh, I just get in here every day and I just don't even think about it a lot of the time until I'm like, oh, maybe I should make it look a little bit more prettier or do things to it, but I always forget to. So in terms of my desk is actually from IKEA and I bought this specifically because it's actually an adjustable desk. I can adjust the legs on it. I can move it higher and lower if I need to, which is really good because you never know one day if you need to adjust your desk for whatever reason. So I always find it's good to get some sort of a desk that can be adjusted and especially even just for your own height. So you're sitting properly at it and it feels ergonomic at least. I think that that's always a really good choice to have with a desk. This one, as I mentioned, you can actually get different attachments from IKEA for it. And I know there's like a set of drawers. There's some different things that you can actually get to attach to where the legs are on the desk. And instead of having these particular legs, you can actually go and get some roller drawers that sit underneath or you can attach them, as I mentioned. There's actually quite a few accessories that you can get for it. So I really liked that this desk was so versatile. I love that. I also like how it's kind of long and slimline so I can kind of sit into the desk a little bit more and it doesn't actually take up too much room because I've had quite wide desks before that have taken up so much room in an office and I just didn't want that in this room. I wanted it to be quite spacious and feel spacious. I wanted there to be quite a lot of space in the middle of the room too because I do filming and I need that space to kind of move my tripod around and you know, if I'm doing little photo shoots for product photography, things like that, I really do need a lot of space in the middle of this room. So this desk is actually perfect for that. It also allows me to just kind of glide on down this way if I need to be on my laptop for meetings or on my laptop for whatever reason. I've got extra space down here that I can utilize for that. Or if my partner for whatever reason needs to be working in here, for example, if we have someone staying over, we usually tend to utilize his office as like a spare room. So if anyone's staying over, if we've got friends or family over, he can actually work in here too. And I just thought that this was a really versatile desk this way. And it's really good to just kind of keep that spacious feel in a room. Now, in terms of these shelves, these are actually not from IKEA, but you can get really similar ones that actually match the wood on the desk, which I kind of wish I had done because I kind of jumped the gun and went to Bunnings, which is like our big hardware store here in Australia. And I got this particular shelf, but it has already faded so much on top and it was always kind of a bit flimsy, so I don't really recommend these ones. I think the ones from IKEA are a lot more sturdier. My partner actually went and got a few shelves from IKEA recently, and they've been really, really good. They felt a lot more sturdier. This one feels really wiggly, and I don't actually put too much weight on this at all. I'm definitely not game enough because I'm pretty sure it's going to fall down one day, so I just keep really lightweight things on there. And you can see I do have a plant here. It's not dead yet, but I do make sure that I water them. As soon as they start looking a little bit like limp or dead, I know it's time to water them, and they usually bounce back really well. So this one's a bit of a trooper. And I've also got my painting here of Wanaka in New Zealand, and that's where my husband and I got married a few years ago, so we actually bought this at a market in Christchurch, and I thought the painting was just so beautiful. I love watercolors. I would love to get into more watercolor painting one day. I'd love to do it, but I feel like, again, I just don't have a lot of time right now, but one day I'll do it. And yeah, so that sits up there really nicely. The blinds that I actually have in here, a lot of people would probably have like block out blinds in their office, but I'm a person in my own house, especially, where I love light. And yes, light can kind of be detrimental, especially if you're working at a screen and, you know, there's reflections or there's glare. I've definitely dealt with that a lot before, especially with editing photography. But for me, I'm still someone who just loves having light in a room, and there's nothing worse to me than having a dim, dark room. That's one thing that I just hate. So I actually didn't get blockouts in this room at all. We can always put blockouts on at some other stage, but I actually just got these, which are just sunshades, and they just filter the light really nicely in here. And they're also actually from IKEA. Basically everything in this room is from IKEA, just a forewarning. Also, side note, does anyone actually just go to IKEA for the food? Because like I've definitely done that on several occasions. Actually, weird story, my husband and I went to Iceland like years ago. I think it was like 2018, and we were really poor on this particular trip that we did. Like we were basically running out of money at this point on this trip. And as most people do know, Iceland is very expensive. It is an extraordinarily expensive place, and we could not afford the food at a lot of the restaurants there, and could barely even afford it at the grocery stores there. So what we actually did is we went to IKEA in Reykjavik and had every dinner for every night we stayed there at IKEA, and it was great. It was like $10 meals. It was amazing. We had meatballs. It was great. And we basically lived off the food there because it was just so cheap compared to everywhere else. So it's a really good little hack, actually. If you visit Iceland, you know, you can always go to IKEA and get some cheap food. So moving on to the stationery here, I have a few different things on my desk at any given time, and it is usually my daily planner. It is my weekly planner, and then it's also my monthly planner. So you've probably seen all three of these planners before on my channel. My monthly planner mainly has all of my content creation for the month, so especially my YouTube videos. I tend to plan out my YouTube videos. For every one of my channels, I have 3 currently. So I like to make sure that all my videos are kind of sorted on here, and I will just jot them down for the month, making sure I know kind of that I'm across everything, because it can get very confusing. My weekly planner tends to have a really rough overview of what I'm doing for each day of the week, and it just kind of keeps me on track that way. And then my daily planner basically has the more specific tasks for each day, so I kind of prioritize them a bit more on here. And yeah, I'm a little bit crazy. I do have a lot of planners, but I really enjoy using them, and I feel like they really keep me on track. And as I mentioned before, organization does not come naturally to me, so this is the kind of stuff that I have to do. Also, just showing you this as well. This is actually, again, from IKEA. So a lot of the stationery, by the way, is from Kiki K as well, and Kmart here in Australia. I get a lot of my stationery from those places, also Officeworks. But yeah, just moving back here to this is from IKEA. It's kind of like, I guess you'd call it like a pin board. I don't really know what it is, but you can get lots of different accessories. You mount this to the wall, and then you can put these things and trays and other things like this to kind of hold books, to hold planners, to hold pens. That's kind of what I've been using it for at the moment, but I've also seen in IKEA a lot of people put plants in these, which I think is really cute. I want to do that at some point. Actually get some little plants over here, but you know, it'll happen one day. But otherwise, yeah, that is a really cool little feature that I love from IKEA. I really think that these are great for any home office. I think it just gives it a little bit of, I guess, interest on the wall too. I mean, all of my walls in here are white, so everything can kind of look a bit bland after a while. And I really just love this. It kind of keeps everything off my desk as well, which is nice, not having pens and papers and everything like that. I've kind of got something that's a bit more raised, and again, it sort of saves on space. And there's a few of my Polaroids from one of my most recent trips to Japan and Korea with my husband and some of my really good friends. So yeah, that was a really fun trip. I actually want to do a lot more with Polaroids, even in this room. I would love to get a lot more Polaroids, just kind of jazz up the place a little bit more. I actually actually do have like a little Polaroid frame over there that I'll show you in just a second, and I haven't used it yet, but I really want to. I think it'll look really cute. Then we have my computer chair, which is quite a good chair. I mean, I bought it actually originally because I really liked the color of it and the texture of it. I thought it went in really well with my room, and I just loved the look of it. I think aesthetically it looks pretty good in this room, but in terms of like ergonomics, I would say it's not the most ergonomically friendly chair. There's not a lot of adjustment that you can do with this chair. The only sort of thing you can do is kind of tilt it back, and I believe obviously positioning it to the right height, but there's other things that I would like to do with this chair to kind of maneuver it into a better position for me, and especially my back and for back height and things like that, which you can't actually do with this chair. So if I was to get another chair, I'd probably get something that is a little bit more adjustable and versatile that way. But I will say that this chair is comfortable, and to be honest, considering I'm sitting on it every single day, I think it's worn really well. So I've had this probably for about 2.5 years, 3 years already, and I think it's done a pretty good job. And moving on to some of the last things here on my desk. So this monitor stand is actually from IKEA as well. Surprise, I know. But I find it's a really great little monitor stand because it does have the double shelving in it, and I can actually put my graphics tablet, which I quite often use, just in here. So again, it's saving space on my desk, kind of gets things getting up off the desk and just taking that kind of mess and clutter away. And obviously my keyboard easily slides in underneath as well. I really find it's a good size for my monitor as well. I do have a 4K monitor here, and it's a Dell monitor. I think it's about 4.5 years old or 4 years old now, so it is a few years old, but it's been a really great monitor to me so far. I actually don't use Mac, which I know a lot of people are very surprised by because Mac is very industry standard for photographers. But yeah, I haven't actually gotten there yet, unfortunately, but one day maybe. And then I've also got my mouse pad over here, which is from K. For any of you who are actually interested in the computer that I do have, it is a Dell XPS, but again, it's about a 4-year-old model or something, I think. In terms of the space that it's got, I think it's got about 2 terabytes of space and about 16 megabytes of RAM, I believe, or memory. It's actually done really well for me over the last few years, and I've been really happy with it so far. So hopefully it keeps kicking for a little while longer. Now, for those of you interested, I'm also going to mention my rug here. The rug is from Adairs, which is a homewares store in Australia, and I absolutely love Adairs. If one of my things is not from IKEA in this room, it's probably going to be from Adairs because I absolutely love their decor. They have some of the most beautiful, beautiful things in there, and I would decorate my entire house in Adairs if I could afford it. But I also actually got this from Adairs. It's just, again, I have not finished this room. I would love to put a plant in here. I'm going to have to get one, but really love how cute it is. I've just got this in the corner at the moment, and I also bought this floor cushion on sale from Adairs as well. So I usually just lay this out if I'm looking to do a bit of meditation, or the whippets are joining me for the day and they want somewhere to sit. They can usually sit on this. So it's just a really nice floor cushion. And yeah, I love having cushions in my office for some reason. It just makes it feel so much more homey. And now to the less exciting side of the room here. So we have a bookshelf from Kmart. This is actually a really old bookshelf, and I think I paid like $15 or $20. It's super flimsy. I always feel like the whole thing is going to come down at any given minute, but I've actually just kept it in here. I don't really love it, but I've just kept it in here because it does hold my books, so it's what it's designed to do, so it's doing its thing until I get a new bookshelf at some point. But you can see I now have my 100k subscribers award on the top there from YouTube, which is kind of cool. And here I've got all of my books, so I really love reading, for those of you who don't know, and I feel like I'm finding less and less time these days to actually read, but I really love reading anything, to be honest. I love novels, I love financial books, I love self-help books and business and motivation, and I just love everything. Biographies, I could really pretty much read anything, so I do have quite a collection on there, but I've also got books kind of scattered throughout the house too. I've also actually got these, which are my favorite things ever, and I'm so glad I got them. I actually don't know if they're at K still, but as I mentioned, I get a lot of my stationery from that store, and these are so amazing if you are working from home, or even if you're not working from home. Actually, these are amazing. You've got your tax folder, bills folder, important documents, and I know personally that all of my documents pretty much go into one of these 3 folders. So they're looking a little bit stuffed at the moment. They do need to be cleaned out, but I just love these for the fact that everything kind of has a place, and there's nothing worse than having like documents just everywhere, spread everywhere, and papers. And I love that I can just put it out of sight and in its place. So it's really good. So this is actually the Polaroid board that I was talking about before, or the frame. I mean, it's not specifically for Polaroids, but you could definitely use it for that. I believe I got this from IKEA as well a few years ago, and they've got like little clips that you can kind of clip Polaroids onto. But in terms of other things that you could use it for, pretty much anything. It could be just a notice board, it could be for photos, it could be for literally anything. So I just love the idea of it, and I'm gonna do something with it one day once again. I just haven't gotten around to doing anything yet. I've actually also just got some like decorative kind of dried fake flowers, I guess you'd call them, branches. I think a few of those again are from Adairs, and pretty much anything decorative in here, like I said, is from Adairs. And other than that, these drawers are actually from IKEA from years ago. They actually used to be our old clothing drawers, but now we don't use them because our wardrobe is fairly decent sized, so we don't really need them anymore. But I actually use these for storing all of my art supplies. So as you can see, I do have a little bit of watercolor stuff in here, and I do have quite a few things stored in here as well for things like product photography. I've done a lot of cosmetic product photography in the past, so you'll see that there's lots of like old cosmetics and things like that in here that I can just use for art and things like that when I'm photographing it. So that's kind of where all that stuff goes. I also have a lot of backdrop rolls in here too for the product photography, cosmetic product photography mainly. This is basically where all of my backdrop rolls and things go. And there's a lot of props in this drawer as well for all of that stuff. Again, I really need to go through and clean those though, because there is a lot of stuff in there. And then again, not too exciting in this corner either, but we do have my slightly dying plant at the moment. I think it's just picking back up. I've just watered him, so hopefully he survives. But this desk is also from Kmart. This is actually a really old desk that I got like years ago when I was living at my mum and dad's, and I just needed something to work at. It's very small and kind of don't want it anymore, but it kind of doubles as a really good like little product photography bench if I'm putting things out, or if I need something, just, you know, a space to put stuff. It's just pretty good for that, but otherwise I'll probably be getting rid of this soon. And then I actually just have some clothes drawers here. So it's just like a cheap little wheelie drawer thing that I got ages ago, and it's got some of my socks and stuff in it. But yeah, it's actually not meant to be in this room. It's meant to be in my bedroom, but it sort of made its way in here because I found it was a really good little desk. If I was using my desk mic, my USB desk mic, I could put it on top and sort of move it around the room. So it actually was really easy that way. So I was utilizing it for just a little while. And then we have my wardrobe here, which has a lot of stuff in it. So I don't even know where to begin with this. It's not in the most tidiest state at the moment. I do have a lot of photography gear in here. So you'll find old lenses, old cameras, lens caps galore. So there's a lot in here. I try and keep it as organized as possible, but it's near impossible. So I keep all my memory cards, my batteries in here. Then we've also got more camera stuff on this side and some hard drive cases, things like that for traveling. And then I've got my makeup and perfumes and things like that, because I usually do my makeup in this room, and some cosmetic bags down the bottom. And I also have a lot of my camera bags and backpacks and things like that, hiking bags kind of hanging up here. So yeah, I try and keep this organized, but this actually does get very, very messy because I'm just constantly in there moving things around. But otherwise, I thought I'd go through a couple of my candles that I currently have, because why not? So a couple of the candles I currently have that I am about to burn or have been burning, I actually have a couple from IKEA currently. So this one's actually called Stortskon, and it is from IKEA. And it smells like berries, and it just smells like the best summer fruits. It's amazing. I love it so much. I can't wait to burn that one actually, so I haven't burnt that one yet. And I also have a salted caramel one here from Kmart. But the one that I've really been loving lately has been my Adairs caramelized vanilla. Oh my god, it's so amazing. As you can see, there's virtually none left in there, and it actually smells divine. So that's definitely one of my favorites at the moment. And that's pretty much my entire office tour. So there's not really much more to it at the moment. I might do an update video maybe in a number of months once I've actually done more to the room and it's looking a little bit more exciting or a little bit more decorated. But this is kind of where I've gotten so far with about 3 years. So not very far at all, to be honest, but I'm so grateful every day for having this space, because I know that there's been times in my life where I've been renting and I haven't had the space to have my own office, or we haven't had the money to purchase things. And you know, I've lived at my mum and dad's before when we were trying to save money to get a house, and I was basically in their garage because there was no other space for me in the house to basically have an office space or a filming space. So I'm very, very grateful for this space, and I hope to make it even a little bit more comfortable as we go along, and a little bit prettier, because I love doing anything interior design related in my house. I love doing that stuff. It's just finding the the time, unfortunately, and sometimes the money. But let me know if you wanted me to do more videos or vlogs like this one, kind of showing you my setups and things like that, because I would love to do more. Definitely let me know down in the comments if you would like to see more videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching this video today. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, make sure you do, because I'll be posting a lot more videos like this in future. Also hit the notification bell if you want to see more updates from my channel, and let me know down in the comments section below how you like to have your home office, if you have one, or what kind of working space do you have at home. Let me know how you like to organize things or film your YouTube setups. I'd really love to hear all of that down in the comments. But thank you so much as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.